is up, you guys? Welcome back to a video. This is a long awaited video, kinda not, because I just hit my third trimester, but I wanted to come on here and just kind of make this like a thing where we can kind of get you guys' questions out there and answered, on top of just the status and update on the whole relationship talk and scenario or situation from earlier, because you guys are nosy. I kind of like it. You know, I'm an open book, so it's really not anything that, you know, shies me away from really being authentic and open and honest with you guys. First, we'll start off with a few questions that you guys did send me that I'm going to answer. FYI, am 30 and I am 32 weeks and 3 days pregnant. So there's a lot of women that have reached out to me. There's a lot of women on my threads, on my Instagram, who are also pregnant in their 30s. And I will be honest, like, you know, being pregnant in your 30s, honey, it could be a lot. So I just kind of want to give you guys the update. Again, I want to make sure that I can answer your questions. And we just kind of go from there, so you guys kind of know, you know, just how I'm feeling. On top of, if this is your first pregnancy too, just kind of, you know, seeing how, you know, things relate. So we're jumping straight into it. First question that I have is, how am I feeling going into my third trimester? I will say, so far, being that literally I just got into my my third trimester 3 days ago, I do feel good. I have little moments here and there where I feel a little, you know, sick, and it's just, I guess, me eating certain things, or, you know, just being like, you know, hungry and not eating fast enough. But for the most part, I feel a lot better than I did my first trimester. My first trimester was a hassle. I felt so terrible. I felt like, what the hell is happening? My body was like, girl, we are going through major changes, which we were. Second trimester, a little nausea here and there, but I definitely started to feel better. This third trimester is kind of like, I still don't know what to expect, but I do feel a lot better than I did. You know what I mean? We're almost at the finish line, and it's more so about just making sure I'm hydrated, I'm eating when I need to eat, and I'm getting enough sleep as needed as well. Second question is, what has been the hardest part lately? I will say getting sleep. Getting sleep has been difficult because of just being able to position myself comfortably. I feel like I'm at the stage of pregnancy where I'm like sitting up sleeping. Typically my left side is the side that I can like really lay on. I can lay on my right side a little bit, but that used to be so uncomfortable. So now I just find myself literally like sitting up, honey, like one of these, you know. But if I could take a nap here and there, I'm cool. It's just like, I know when baby gets here, I'm not going to be able to get, you know, a lot of sleep. So I'm just trying to get them naps in as much as possible. But getting sleep has been the most difficult part. What symptoms have surprised me most? The gas. I'll be honest with you, baby. You know, you eat a little burrito, a little chili, a little something here and there, cool. But the gas is actually very crazy. And some people might be like, you know, TMI. It is. It's too much information for me. But I'm just being real and honest. Like, when you have your intestines and everything being pushed up and the baby is taking a lot of that space, you are limited on air and, you know, just a lot of other things. You know, the flow isn't really flowing. So I do feel like that is one thing, on top of heartburn. I really didn't experience heartburn in the beginning so much, which I do hear a lot of people, you know, experience that early on. Now I'm getting a lot more heartburn. And one thing I can't tell y'all is, oh, if you have heartburn, does that mean the baby has a lot of hair? I don't know who the hell made that up. I don't know. Like, I have enough hair. Dad has a lot of hair for sure. So I'm sure my baby's going to come out with a lot of hair, but I don't know who came up with that. If you guys can figure out where that came from, you know what I'm saying? Let me know. I don't know. Just let me know where it came from. But I don't know that I'm just going off of, oh, my baby has a lot of hair, so I got heartburn. I like spicy shit. You know what I'm saying? I like things with sauce, and, you know, sometimes it just don't sit well with the tummy and the body. It just don't. So that's all I could tell you on that. The next question is, how has my energy been lately? My energy has definitely been up and down. I don't feel that I've been more energetic one day than the next. I do feel, again, I'm a lot more tired this trimester than I have been, but I feel like when I get that burst of energy, I'm using it right away, because when my body calls for me to like chill out, then I'm gonna chill out. But I'll honestly say, like, you know, I'm pretty well rounded with the energy, you know, and pacing myself, taking, you know, having slow mornings. I'm not rushing myself through anything. I'm not trying to over process anything. I think being overstimulated is just natural during pregnancy, because you are limited, especially if you're like me. I'm a busybody, you know what I'm saying? So I'm used to being on the go, and pregnancy will slow you down, because you might get this little ache in your back, you know what I'm saying? Your leg might go numb. Like, it's just things could kind of get in the way. But I think pacing myself has been the thing that has allowed me to just really balance out how I feel. Emotionally, I'm very emotional anyway. So it's one of those things where it's like, I do find myself crying when I watch certain, you know, shows or videos. It does heighten my sensitivity a lot more. But other than that, I feel fine. Next question is, what am I most excited about? Meeting my baby. Now that I know that I'm having a girl, I'm even more excited to know having a mini me is just in the works, you know. But I'm more so excited for her to get here, for me to hold her. I think I'm gonna miss, of course, this bonding time that we have, feeling her kicks and like, you know, just really taking in what my body can do, and understanding like women are powerful as hell. We're strong as hell, and just naturally born creators. To be able to do what we do naturally is amazing. So I'm definitely excited to meet her, and I'm definitely excited to just be a mommy. Like, I just, you know, I think that it's in me, and I just can't wait. I can't wait to spoil her, because who's gonna tell my baby no? What am I most nervous about? I'm most nervous about delivering. And even though I know, like, again, we're built for this and your body will naturally do what it needs to do, I think it's very normal to be nervous about delivering, especially vaginally. Like, FYI, you don't really know what labor is going to consist of until it happens. A lot of birth plans don't go as planned. You may plan to do a water birth, you may plan to do a vaginal birth, and it may cause, you know, for you to go in and be induced and or just have, you know, a scheduled C-section based on, it just depends. So I'm more so nervous about that, but I do know that I'm blessed and highly favored, and again, I'm doing something that I was called to do. So however things turn out will be in the favor of what's best for me and baby. And we're just always going to say a prayer, or, you know, a million, just to make sure we can get through that process. But delivery is definitely what I'm most nervous about. I have a great support system. You know, Steven and I, even though we have, you know, gone through certain things during the pregnancy, which again, we'll get into, he still is very supportive in the sense of making sure that certain things are done, and in understanding now, because from my understanding, this is his first time. Even though he has a son, he didn't get to spend time in that space with Uriah's mom to understand really just, you know, all the things that we are going through as women, which is sometimes why I play devil's advocate, you know what I'm saying? But in this case, you know, because it's us, he definitely has been more available recently to just kind of like asking questions, checking in and things like that. So support system is cool. My mom, of course, is very supportive. And I just think our family on both sides in general have been available to just being like, whatever you guys need. And even his family reaching out to me just to say, hey, we're here for you and things like that. So having a major support system is important to me. I think that that works, you know, a lot. It favors a lot. And just being, you know, calm about it. But baby, she got to come out of here some way, somehow. So we're going to make it do what it do. Superwoman that day. I'm putting on a cape. How has baby been moving lately? Baby moves a lot. She is very active in here. I'm starting to pick up more on her pattern. And by pattern, I mean like her sleep schedule versus her up schedule. Definitely up late at night. So it kind of is clicking to me. Maybe she'll be born like hella late or like super early in the morning based off of just her activity. But she moves a lot. I'm definitely getting those 10 movements, as they say, an hour or more. But she definitely lets me know, like, mommy, I'm in here. I'm happy. I'm healthy. I hear you. When her dad's around, she goes crazy. Like, she moves a lot when he's just around or talking around me. So I know that she'll be, of course, smart in the sense of already knowing, you know, what's going on. She's going to be very in tune. Moves a lot, honey. What have been my cravings? What have I craved the most? My cravings have been all over the place. My cravings have been all over the place. I started out craving cereal. Like, I just wanted cereal. Honey, just cereal. Lucky Charms, Cocoa Pebbles, Captain Crunch. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was just on a cereal kick. I did buy some more cereal, so I'm kind of still on a cereal kick. And then I went from like cereal to granola bars. You know what I'm saying? And then I went from granola bars to ice cream, mustard ice cream. Nothing crazy. Like, I'm not eating pickles and mustard or, you know, pickles and marshmallows with chocolate. Like, I'm not doing any of that shit. And even though that may not sound like crazy, I haven't been mixing things, you know, crazy. That hasn't been me. I've just been addicted to eating specific things at a specific time for a specific moment. You know what I'm saying? So cereal was my kick. I had to have cereal, and it was just like I was eating cereal, honey, at like 9 o'clock at night. It was crazy. Last question that I have for this video is, what have I learned so far during this third trimester? I think in general, pregnancy has taught me to be more patient with myself and to take my time. I think, again, because I am such an on-the-go person and, you know, I have ideas about certain things getting done at a certain time, it's put me in a position where I'm just not in control of everything. And I think that that is a major lesson because I'm not in control of everything. You know what I'm saying? I definitely want to be able to maintain patience because I don't have a choice. Like, you know, having a child does require you to kind of bend, not kind of, you have to bend in areas and ways that you don't necessarily have to when it's just you. But I'm getting ready to have the responsibility of being responsible for somebody, and teaching her how to be the best version of herself is my goal. And I think she's already teaching me how to be the best, you know, version of myself in this moment. So what I've learned so far is just being available to me in understanding that you can control what you can control and you can't control what you can't control. Just being more diligent and relaxed and calm is super important because, you know, I do find myself being, again, overstimulated and like all over the place. Like, you know, it is what it is. Things that get done when they get done, and we're going to take our time. I do encourage anybody who already has children or who is pregnant to give yourself more grace and more gratitude because life super fast and things do happen very quickly, and we do find ourselves sometimes like rushing through a lot of shit just because we're so focused on time. So this is just like a reminder to, you know, all women and all parents, to give yourself more gratitude, like pat yourself on the back for all the hard work that you do already do. You know what I'm saying? Like, everything that you do deserves some type of attention. So that's what I'll say I learned. Like, I'm not doing anything wrong. I still am going to be learning through this process. I don't know everything. So, you know, I'm always open for tips and things like that. But I do have great parents. I have great parents who have done this thing 3 times. You know what I'm saying? So I'm definitely listening to the feedback from them. My grandparents, you know, 45 plus years of marriage, baby. I have this great system of just parents in my life. So I'm grateful for that. And that's kind of where I am with things. Many of you wanted to know the update on my relationship status. Put that video out about, us breaking up and of course him leaving. And in that same video, I do recall saying he was going to come back, because why the fuck wouldn't he come back? You know what I'm saying? Like, we're not perfect, and I'm for damn sure not perfect. Like, I have, again, this vision, this idea, and Steven and I are just two completely different people. We have very similar goals, and we have things that we both want to pursue together. A lot of it too is me holding on to certain things that have been done. And I think in the beginning of our relationship, he wasn't really aware of who I am. Straight up. Like, he wasn't aware of who I am. He didn't know that when I said certain things, I actually meant it. And when I gave, the insight on just who I am and what I embody, like, I truly think that people need to really see that in order to understand, like, oh, she ain't lying. You know what I'm saying? So got to a point where it's like, what you're used to is not what you're getting. I can genuinely say I'm definitely not like who you've dealt with, you know what I'm saying, or who you've chosen to be with. And so very early on, he courted me. And I'm always going to say that, like, when he first reached out to me, I was like, what do you want? What do you need? Because I kind of already had an idea as to who he was talking to. And like, that's a whole different story. So it's just kind of like, there's no way that you can like me or be intrigued with me when that's the type of shit that you be on. Once we went on our first date, it was just a very, like, we clicked immediately. And we were stuck like glue from that point on. Like, we had conversations very early on where he was telling me, like, you're going to have my children. I'm going to marry you. Like, and they say that men know, you know what I mean? So in my mind, it's kind of like, yeah, okay, whatever, we'll see. You know what I mean? But he made it a point to ask me out the right way. Like, will you be my girlfriend? And even though, we're 29 and 30, of course, at the time, it was still kind of just like, well, 29 and 31, because he's 2 years older than me. But even though, it happened so quickly, I kind of just took it as a sign, like, when someone chooses you, they chooses you. When someone chooses you, they choose you. And so you just kind of gotta, like, see what happens. I literally held him accountable for everything that he said to me. Still do. Like, when you tell me something, I'm going to hold you to that. So because we had planned on having a baby and, we kind of manifested a lot of things together so early on, I'm not even putting a time frame on it, because there are people who genuinely do fall in love at first sight, or you just finally meet your soulmate at a point in time where you've gone through a bunch of stupid ass relationships. You tired of going up and down with people, and then you meet someone who really changes your life a lot quicker than expected. And I kind of think that's where we were with things. But when we got into that argument, it was solely because communication is always the barrier. And so at the end of the day, we just got into it because he felt like I was being judgmental and I wasn't being comforting and I wasn't being open to the idea of having company. No. That wasn't the case. I think had we had a conversation prior and I was in the loop of what was getting ready to take place, that definitely would have went down differently. But he ended up taking it a little too far, and he ended up, packing his shit and leaving because he was trying to prove a point, whatever point. As far as him coming back, I've already made a point. We're having a baby and you're going to do whatever the fuck you need to do to support your kid, and we're going to do it the right way. Running from a relationship is easy. Running away from your problems is easy. Not handling or dealing with things is easy. And I say that even for myself, because had this been a few years back, baby, I would have chucked the deuces up and said, I don't give a fuck either. This is what it is. I truly don't care. It was nice. You know what I'm saying? So this is different for me because I actually do love him. And I think being in love is new for me. It used to be something I gagged on because I'm like, being in love, you know what I mean? But grow up is all I could say. I do love him because I do feel like we can actually build something that does work. I feel like there's just a lot that we still need to learn, but I think he just has to understand that this is not the same. And he has recently vocalized that, like, you're not who I've been in relationships with. We feed each other a different type of energy. And I can't change how I was raised, and I can't change how I see, structure. And it even falls in line with, like, us raising our kid together. For him to already have a child with someone, I'm already seeing firsthand how they handle that situation. It ain't my business, it ain't my problem, but when he's here, it is my issue. You know what I'm saying? And I have rules, and I have this thing where I expect things to be done a certain way in our household. You get down over there, it's not how you're going to get down over here. How daddy runs his house here is definitely going to be different than how mom runs her house over there. It's up to them to be on the same page to implement things for their child. As far as our child is concerned, things will be handled differently. And the one thing that I can't wrap around my head is I don't necessarily want the kids to, feel that they're growing up differently, but the reality of it is they are growing up differently. Of course, when we do things, I want, things to be mutual, but it is going to be different because it is. It just is. So the status of our relationship, I hope that gave you guys the context, but the status of our relationship is I'm just in a place where I'm like, I'm not going to go back and forth anymore. I'm not going to give things certain energy. I just want us to be able to vocalize or verbalize like where we are and have the conversation spot on. I don't want to hold things in. But I also don't want to be the runner. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be the person that's like, okay, fuck everything, whatever it is, what it is. So we're working on it. I spent a lot of time, giving niggas the benefit of the doubt. And I'm like, yeah, you're not like the dudes that I was talking to before either. They didn't make it. They didn't make the cut. So now that we're here, we're just going to elevate our lives. Like, I see things so differently, and I see us, just doing all kinds of shit. Like, we both love to travel. We both love, having family time and doing family oriented shit. We just like having a good time. We're both fucking silly. It calls for us to have to work things out, which we're gonna do. You know what I'm saying? And I know that was kind of like something tough for y'all to see. Now, again, I'm just a realist. I don't have shit to hide through social media. Like, we, have had a few other ups and downs since then. You know what I'm saying? But it's just so hard for me to bite my tongue. It hurts to bite my tongue. It hurts to bite your fucking tongue. You know what I'm saying? So, that's just where we're at with it. Do I feel like he's been trying to really get it together? I do. Trying is better than not. I do know we only have about a month or so until we have to really be team players. You know what I'm saying? So regardless, it's one of those things where it's like, this wasn't an accident. This wasn't something that just popped up out of the, no. Like, I must keep saying it. We knew what the fuck we were doing. We asked for specific things. We've manifested certain things together. And so we got shit to do. So that's just kind of where we're at now. You guys are going to see the raw and uncut because I just don't have a filter. Even though I'm working on myself, I'm healing, I'm not healed. And that's kind of like the tricky part of this whole thing is I'm also trying to make sure that I can work through a certain process as he is. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm very, I know that about me. I do. I know that about me. I know my mouth gets me in trouble. I know. But I'm just not settling for less, and I'm not settling for the BS. You know what I mean? Like, shit gotta work out because we have shit to do. Having a baby isn't stopping me from traveling, getting outside, connecting, building, branding, all of that shit. Like, now that I'm doing content creation full time, I literally have to be in mommy mode, business mode, entrepreneur mode. Like, it has to be all of these things that I know can be done. And I want to make sure that I am available to all categories in my life. That's just where we're at with things. I'm not going to stop until I get what I want. And I'm not going to stop until I'm able to, experience what it is that I'm creating, you know, effectively. So this is just me kind of putting a bunch of stuff out there to let you guys know, you know, we're working on it. We're working on it. We're going to get, I think, through it. Will there be other hiccups? I'm fucking sure. You know what I'm saying? But, we got other things to do, and I have to prepare myself to have this baby. I do. So I hope you guys are enjoying just what you're getting so far. I hope you guys are ready to take on the journey, the ride. Again, I'm always open to just, you know, feedback, comments. I appreciate those of you who have, you know, sent me things from my registry. Shout out to Delexi. I literally shed tears because I just am like so grateful and blessed to know that you guys feel connected with me enough to even, you know, give to my baby and just me, you know what I mean? So I truly appreciate any of you who have, you know, sent us things, even words of encouragement, just checking in. Like it means a lot to me, and we got a journey to uphold, you know what I'm saying? I just wanted to put this out here. It's a gloomy ass day today. So Ghost, he doesn't feel good. He threw up like twice this morning. My boy is trying to get comfortable right now because he's just like, what the hell is going on? So I'm gonna chill and probably start another vlog, but I hope that this sit down kind of put you guys on game as to where I am mentally. I answered some questions based on what you guys wanted to know as far as my third trimester. If you are, again, a mommy in your 30s or just a mommy in general, pregnant, I am sending love to you because, girl, I know it's a lot. It's a lot to deal with. It's a lot to handle. But we got this, you know what I'm saying? And I'm sending nothing but positivity out to you all. I will see you guys in my next video. We out.